In this video, I'll show you how you can recover your entire Mac from your CCC backup. There are a couple of scenarios where this procedure would be applicable. In the first case, suppose my Mac is just not working correctly. I can boot into recovery mode so I know that I'm not dealing with a hardware failure, but I need to reinstall the OS and recover from my backup. Another common scenario is, suppose I just sent my Mac to Apple for repair and they returned it to me with a freshly erased volume and a clean installation of macOS. What's the next step to get all of my data, applications, and system settings back onto my Mac? We can do that with a CCC backup. So what I've got here is a backup of my current startup disk onto my CCC backup volume, and I've just been making this backup on an hourly basis, and the backup is currently up to date. So next we're going to boot the system into recovery mode and show what the next steps are. Again, keep in mind that for that second scenario, we're going to get the laptop back from Apple with a clean installation of macOS, so in that case we would just skip right ahead to the part where we migrate data from the backup. For that first scenario though, the next step is to boot your Mac into recovery mode. For an Apple Silicon Mac, turn off your Mac and then turn it on and continue to press and hold the power button until you see the startup options. Click the gear icon labeled Options, then click Continue. For an Intel processor Mac, reboot while holding Command R until you see the Apple logo. I'll demonstrate the procedure on an Apple Silicon Mac. Alright, so I've booted my Apple Silicon Mac while holding down the power button, and that's going to load the startup options. I'm going to click on Options and then click Continue, and that's going to load the Macos Recovery Assistant. Now, if the Recovery Assistant prompts you to select a volume to restore, just select the internal volume and choose the option to continue. If there's only one volume inside of your Mac, then this will automatically proceed to the macOS Recovery Utility application. Now the Recovery Utility has loaded, and the next step is to open Disk Utility so that we can erase the internal Macintosh HD volume. Now Disk Utility has loaded, and we're going to select Macintosh HD in the sidebar. And then click the Erase button in the toolbar. And we're going to stick with the same name and the same format, APFS, and then click the Erase button. When the erase procedure has completed, then we'll just quit out of Disk Utility and proceed to install macOS. You'll click Continue here, agree to the license agreement, and then select Macintosh HD to install macOS onto. Alright, so the macOS installation procedure has completed. Next, I'm going to proceed through the Setup Assistant. And when I get to the Migration Assistant screen, I'm just going to keep that first option selected, click Continue, and I still have my CCC backup disk attached to this Mac. So in a moment it's going to show up and I can select that as the source for migration and then click Continue. After a moment, Migration Assistant will enumerate the content of the backup volume and present a list of content that's available to be migrated to the new installation of macOS. We could uncheck certain items here if there were user accounts that we didn't want to transfer, if we didn't want to transfer applications, but in my case I just want to transfer everything, so I'm going to just click on Continue and then follow any additional guidance from Migration Assistant to complete the migration. And now Migration Assistant is migrating my data. Once this is complete, I can simply reboot and then log in to the same user accounts that I was using before I reinstalled macOS. Click the link below for more videos on how to restore content from your CCC backup. And remember, if you ever need help restoring content from your CCC backup, we're here to help. Open CCC and choose Ask a Question about CCC, and our support staff will help you get things set up correctly.